Hi, welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Justin Riley, and I hope you stick around today. We've got a great show for you. We're going to be checking in with our newest news partners from the Wisconsin Institute for Learning Disabilities and Dyslexia. Plus, we'll learn about a charity walk that's coming up for eating disorders and a new arts initiative that's meant to help school children inspire creativity. But first, I'm joined now by Brian Royston and Dunes from the Strollers Theater. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to have you here with us today. So you're going to be talking about your newest production that's coming up starting on October...
October 9th.
October 9th, and it's Agatha Christie's The Mousetrap, which is a classic comic whodunit, a murder mystery. Talk to us about it. What's it about?
The Mousetrap is about, 8 people who are trapped in a guest house in 1950s England. And there's a murderer amongst them, and they have to determine who it is and who might be the next victim.
Sure. So now, Dunes, you play a character called Mr. Paravicini. Did I say that right?
Yes, Paravicini.
Paravicini. Who is he in the story, and who's the murderer?
Paravicini is a mysterious character who arrives in the middle of the snowstorm unexpectedly. Mm-hmm. And so you're never quite sure who he is or what he might be up to.
Okay. And you didn't answer the back part of my question. Who's the murderer?
Well, I'll never say who the murderer is. You'll have to come to see the show.
Darn it, thought I'd try to catch you there. So, Brian, you play a character called Detective Sergeant Trotter. Who is he in the story, and who is the murderer?
Well, Detective Trotter comes to investigate a previous related murder and to try and find out if one of these other 7 people is the murderer, and possibly to prevent another murder from happening. He's suspicious of everyone,
sure,
as one might expect.
Sure.
And I'm not quite sure who the murderer is yet. I have an idea. But I'm not going to tell you yet. You have to come and see the play.
That's something that's not even revealed to the cast until the night of the show, I'm sure, or something like that, right?
Maybe.
Ooh, okay. I like this. I like this game that we're playing here. So now you're both fathers. You both have kids of your own. Is this show appropriate for taking kids to?
Oh yeah, I think it is. I would say somewhere over 10 or so, middle school and above. It's one of the first plays that I've done that I really have no qualms about bringing my youngest to.
Sure.
So there is a little implied violence, mm-hmm. a couple times maybe, but it basically occurs off stage, and it's as one of you said, it's a comedy too.
Right.
So
mm-hmm.
It's a funny, classic piece.
Yeah. So do you think that kids would, 10 and above, would get some of the humor that's in there?
Yes.
Some of it is maybe a little slapsticky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some straightforward comedy in there.
Sure. So, Dunes, you designed the poster for this entire season of Strollers Theater called The British Invasion.
Yes.
I mean, that must be pretty cool to have like multiple different talents. So what do you like more? Do you like acting or do you like designing?
Well, I like acting more, absolutely. For me, acting is like riding the best roller coaster ever. It's just so much fun. I'm a professional designer, so I was just happy this season to be able to contribute an idea and have it chosen, and so I get to continue creating materials throughout the season.
That's so cool. And now, Brian, you're both a theater actor and a filmmaker. What would you say to people who really enjoy going to see movies to get them to come and see live theater?
Well, in this one in particular, as you said, it is a classic whodunit, and it has influenced many films and TV shows since. So I think much like something like Clue or many of the crime dramas that we see on TV now, where people like to watch it and try and figure out themselves who done it. Mm-hmm. I think that's what this play is all about.
A little bit more lighthearted, but it sounds like.
Yeah.
And
we will give people an opportunity to try and guess themselves.
Mm-hmm. So the audience has a chance to kind of participate at the end.
Yeah. So it is kind of interactive.
Very cool. Well, Brian Royston and Dunes from the Strollers Theater, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Information is on your screen about where to get tickets. You can log on to their website or give them a call. And we'll be right back with more Talk of the Town right after this. Stick around. And welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm joined now by our latest addition to our news partner team, the folks from Wisconsin Institute for Learning Disabilities and Dyslexia, or WILD for short. Irv Carpenter and Jessica Edge, welcome back.
Hi, nice to see you again.
Yeah, so good to have you back with us today. So you guys are celebrating your 10th anniversry. WILD's been around for 10 years. Yes. Congratulations, that's awesome.
Thank
you. Talk to us a little bit about, do you have any events planned for that? Are you celebrating in any way? Talk to us first, tell viewers a little bit about what WILD is and then what you got planned.
WILD is a nonprofit here in Dane County, and what we do is we teach children and adults how to read and spell and how to interact with their language.
Okay. And you guys have stuff planned for the 10th anniversary? You have anything going on?
We do on 10/10, October 10th, from 2 to 6 at our location on Grand Canyon Drive. We're going to have an open house.
Okay.
So the whole purpose is to raise awareness in the community. That's a big part of our mission, is outreach and educating the public. Also to dispel myths and stereotypes that are often associated with dyslexia. And also just to invite the community in and see a little bit more about what we do and what we can offer.
And who should come to this event? Who should come to the open house?
We would expect everybody to come to the open house,
Yeah.
although it would be perfect if school teachers,
sure.
Families of members that members have dyslexia, those people that suspect that they may have dyslexia in the family, or if they have a child in school that, teachers, administrators, psychologists, all of those would fit into finding out more about dyslexia.
Anybody who may work with people or live with people who could potentially or do have confirmed cases of dyslexia
Absolutely.
would be welcome to come to that.
You betcha. We have a prevalence of about 20% of the population, so it's a huge number of people that we certainly would like to see there.
Now, is that, when you say 20%, is that the folks who have confirmed cases of dyslexia?
That's
so
correct.
there may be some folks out there who don't even realize they have it, who
You're
have not been
absolutely right.
confirmed yet. So, yeah. So go and check that out for sure, and remind us where, or when I should say, the event is.
It's 10/10 for our 10th anniversary.
Awesome. Hard to forget that.
Yeah,
October 10.
right.
What time?
It's from 2 to 6.
Okay, I thought you were going to say at 10:10 a.m.
No, that would have been nice. But
So 2 to 6 p.m. and it's at your office over on Grand Canyon Drive?
it is.
Excellent, excellent. And the public is welcome to come.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
So what can people expect at the open house? What kinds of things are you going to be showing?
Well, what we have planned are a couple of simulations. We find that that's maybe one of the best ways for people to get educated about dyslexia, is to feel what it feels like a little bit. We also have a lot of video presentations that we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing a live demonstration of our WILD Global program.
Okay.
And we're also going to have parents and current students and previous students walking around answering questions of anybody that has questions
right.
about what we do.
We're going to have a Mexican cuisine, so we have free food. And we also have all of the interesting rooms where you can walk in and see videotapings of testimonials of people that have already been there.
And that's so great that people can experience what it's like to have dyslexia. What is that? Is it like a special pair of glasses that they put on or something? How does that work?
No, it's there are a couple of different things. One of the simulations emulates dysgraphia.
Okay.
So it uses mirrors, and you have to cover your hand, and there's a couple different things that we do for that. And then there's also an auditory discrimination simulation.
Okay. So a lot of different simulations.
Yeah.
I think that's really important that people know what it's like to have dyslexia and other learning disabilities that might affect how people function.
Yeah.
National Dyslexia Month. Talk to us a little bit about that. When is it, and what is it all about?
Well, month of October is the National Dyslexia Month. James Doyle signed a proclamation back in 2005 for the state of Wisconsin to join in on that.
Okay.
So we have been doing this every October since for our 10 years.
Very cool.
So we celebrate and hope everybody will join us.
Irv Carpenter and Jessica Edge from WILD, the Wisconsin Institute for Learning Disabilities and Dyslexia. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much for
having
having
us.
us.
Stop on by at 2 p.m. on October 10th to their office on Grand Canyon Drive for some free Mexican cuisine and also a chance to learn a little bit more about dyslexia and other learning disabilities. We'll be right back with more Talk of the Town. And welcome back to Talk of the Town. My next guests are Dave Schlossberg and Jenna McCormick from the Madison Walk for National Eating Disorders Association, or NEDA. Welcome, guys.
Thanks so much.
Good to have you with us today. So there's a really important walk coming up that kind of highlights the importance of or awareness for eating disorders. Why was it important? Why is this walk so important to organize in dealing with eating disorders? And talk to us a little bit about what NEDA is.
Yeah, so NEDA is the National Eating Disorder Association, and their vision is to see a world without eating disorders. Now, a lot goes into that, but what we're kind of focusing on is both raising awareness and fundraising. Now, it's important because the average life of an eating disorder is about 5 years, okay? Which means that that's a lot of treatment.
Yeah.
It's a lot of education, medical expenses, and advocating for your needs and rights to services. And whether that's with an insurance company or if negotiating private pay situations or managing your personal expenses, people struggling with eating disorders need a lot of financial support. And that's a really important piece of the puzzle because it allows us to support in a meaningful way that really leads to results.
Yeah, and there's a huge financial burden then for those folks who are actually trying to seek treatment for eating disorders.
Absolutely,
for sure.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Right. So I'm wondering if someone can give us a better perspective on what it's like to have an eating disorder and what are the associated risks that go with that.
Sure, yeah. I've struggled with an eating disorder, and I think oftentimes I compare it to if you have like a hobby that you like to do, and then it kind of turns into an obsession and then starts to kind of take over your life. And it really just starts to run and interfere with every aspect of your life, social, health-wise, job-wise. Oftentimes it really affects every part of your life. And it's something that is oftentimes not talked about, and so people oftentimes are ashamed about it, which is a big reason why we're doing this walk, is to raise awareness and help get it out there and get people talking about it.
Get it out in the open, in other words. It almost sounds like a form of OCD or obsessive compulsive disorder.
Exactly, yep.
Yeah. So what should one do if they think that they have an eating disorder, or if they think they know somebody who has an eating disorder? You know, how are they treated? What can they do?
Yeah. I think what's important that Dave said is that there's this feeling that either you're the only person in the world that's feeling like this, or that, you know, maybe it's not that bad, maybe you just need to start eating, maybe, you know, you need to stop exercising. But it's so much more complex than that. There's so much more going on. So if you're just open about it, of this is what I'm experiencing, this is what I'm going through, it's not only going to help yourself, but it'll help someone else. And showing that maybe if you see someone else that you're thinking maybe is struggling, reach out, see if they need support. Anything that you can do to say, you know, I'm here for you and I'm here to support you, it's going to benefit them and just bring awareness to eating disorders overall.
I definitely agree with that. Yeah, and I think oftentimes eating disorders, because food is such a common thing, it often gets downplayed in terms of the seriousness of it. But in fact, it's I believe it's the most deadly of mental illnesses. And so if you are thinking maybe somebody you know or a loved one is struggling with this issue, it's really important to talk to them and kind of just broach it, and you know, maybe it will help them out.
So what's the next step after somebody realizes that they have a problem and they need treatment? What treatment options are available here in Madison?
So I'm going to answer that question starting with what we don't have. Okay. So what we don't have is an inpatient, which is the acute level of care hospitalization. And we need a specialized unit for that. Now, because what we've talked about is eating disorders are so complex. No two are exactly alike. Right. There's so much going on psychologically that needs to be addressed. But on top of that, there's a very serious medical component and a threat to your physical health. Right. So you need a specialized staff and a specially designed unit that's going to address both of those things at the same time on top of whatever comorbid disorders are going on. Yeah. So we don't have that. We don't have a residential program. We do have a part-time hospitalization program, which is by Rogers Memorial Hospital, which we're very fortunate to have because there's not a lot of those available. What we do have, which I'm over the moon excited about, is an excellent outpatient therapeutic staff.
Okay.
People that really want to bridge that gap, whether it's my position at Walden Living, which is offering people a place to live. If it's Edelweiss Behavioral Health, which
Sure.
just started an intensive outpatient program, or the Eating Disorder Support Network, which started a lot of groups in response
Sure.
to the growing need of a gap kind of between support and peer support as well.
Yeah.
And the reason I brought up those three is that they were instrumental in our walk,
Yeah.
both in getting large teams, getting a lot of people involved, spreading awareness, as well as being sponsors for it. So.
Really quickly, the date of the walk is
Was actually September 20th.
September 20th. Oh, okay, so it's come and gone now.
Yes.
Okay,
Correct, yep.
but people can still get involved with NIDA. And all
Exactly.
they got to do is just go to the website then.
Yep,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Yep. And if you go to the website and search for Madison Walk, you can still donate to our walk, and it's important to raise funds for eating disorder support.
Great. Well,
Absolutely.
Dave Schlossberg and Jenna McCormick, thank you so much for joining us
Yes,
today.
thank
for
you so
having
much.
us.
Don't go away. There's more Talk of the Town coming up right after this. And welcome back to Talk of the Town. There is a new initiative to help inspire creative learning and innovative thinking in school-age students here in the Madison area. And here to talk a little bit more about that, my next guests are Greg Doby and Joey B. Banks from the Mad City Arts Academy. Thanks so much for joining us, gentlemen.
Thanks for having
happy
us.
to be
Thank
here.
you.
Yeah, looking dapper too, I gotta say. I really like that. I really like the
It's not
outfits.
too often we get to dress up. So it
Right,
works.
so, first of all, talk to us a little bit. What is Mad City Arts Academy?
Mad City Arts Academy is a new initiative to inspire creative learning and innovative thinking through the arts in the Madison area community, focusing on elementary, middle, and high school students. And we're located in South Central Madison. Professional artists are joining together to cultivate the creative talents and aspirations of youth citywide. And we are committed to developing our youth's creative potential, helping them build 21st century skills, and expanding their community connections with group classes, private lessons, after-school programming, internships, and visiting artist programs.
It sounds like you have just a wide variety of stuff that you offer, and that 21st century skills is such a buzzword in education nowadays. So that's important.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Greg, what programs specifically do you offer, and talk to us a little bit about what the students will be learning.
So our programming is very unique to the city. Youth-centric, new age. We're offering programs like video gaming. Things that you would see in more of a college setting, but we're offering that to young adults and youth. We're offering songwriting, music production, graphic novels. They get to make comics and things more in the media arts, And we have the traditional like photography programs and those kind of things, but they also, with the photography, they get to learn Photoshop and all those. So it's a really new age media-based programming.
That's very cool. And so you have some things that you do that you teach that are a little bit more along the lines of traditional creativity, like songwriting and that sort of thing. But you also have things that very much center around technology as well.
Definitely.
That's very cool. So who's involved? Who's teaching?
Well, right now we have a group of professional artists.
Okay.
Greg Doby actually is one of those. He's a local platinum record producer. Bobette Rose is going to be doing the graphic novel. And we have Linda Friend, a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist who's going to be teaching photography. She's an instructor from Edgewood College.
Yeah.
Joey Banks.
Joey B. Banks here.
He's doing drumline.
I'm doing the drumline program, and we're going to give kids an opportunity to come in and try to develop and work their way to the Black Star Drumline, which is a performance group. So we have a couple of different drumline opportunities for kids that want to try it. We have who else do we have? We have Lee Stanley.
Lee Stanley, he's a pioneer in the community. He's done a lot of residencies in the school district with choirs and music, young youth music creation.
Right.
There
Cool.
it is.
And we have Fabu also, who's going to be coming and doing
Poetry
with us.
So,
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a pretty wide range of professional artists, and I think in this beginning period, we have a number of those professional artists, but I think we'll be expanding as we grow. There'll
Sure.
be more artists and more people being involved in.
Sure, as
in
more
the
people
program.
hear about it, they'll want to be involved,
Absolutely.
I'm sure. So talk to us really quick about what programs you're offering, or I should say, when are these programs offered and where physically are they held?
So we have some programming that is starting next week, which is October 5th.
Okay.
Most of the programs are run for an 8-week period, so that puts us somewhere before Thanksgiving, November 23rd. Sure. And we're happy to be partnering with SoSonic, which is which is a music production company that does the concert on the square. They do that whole
Sure.
production there, and we're housed there. So we're partnering with them, and that's our new location. So it's great. We encourage people to come down and check it out.
And we'd like to thank Dale Sticka for his vision, because his vision of creating a community of a culture of community arts at his facility is what Mad City Arts Academy is doing, and he will also be partnering with other community arts organizations along the way as well.
Very cool. Now, really quickly before we go, we just have a few seconds left. Can you tell viewers where they can go to get more information, how they can register, how they can get involved?
You can go to madcityartsacademy.org. Registration, you can sign up there. You can find out any kind of information. We have a schedule that's posted of classes. You can sign up on that site.
Or come down to the facility.
Sure, come check it out.
Yeah, come check it out.
Yeah.
Come see it. It's a very beautiful space. Our lab is very, very youth orientated. We encourage people to come down. That's the best way. If you want to come down, you can register. You can call us.
Right.
We're happy to give you any information that you need.
But come down and see these guys, Greg Doby and Joey B. Banks from Mad City Arts Academy. Thanks so much for joining us, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
And that's all the time we have for Talk of the Town. We'll see you next time.